a face that made a chill run down my spine, and she looked me in the eyes. She must have hypnotized me, 'cause the next thing I remember, I was there, standing in her lair, watching as she stirred. And then she looked at me and she said these words: I knew anything bad in a long black room with my big black cat, spider legs and wolf down fur, bringing to a boil and began to stir. Had poison ivy with a hemlock root and a thread in the collar of a vampire suit. Guaranteed with your money back too, but be careful when you mess with witches brew.
Welcome back, or first time, to One Holiday at a Time. It's a podcast where we study the cinematic and the cultural side to the celebration times.
Happy holidays, guys.
Happy celebration times.
Good days. My name is Adela.
I'm Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Hello. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Welcome. I already said what the show was.
Yes, you know what the show
I was about
is.
to say it again, but then I don't need to. You know what it is.
I know what it is.
You already know what the fuck is going on. What? We are continuing to watch the Halloweentown franchise because I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
I used to watch these movies. Well, I used to watch the first two all the time. Seen the third one probably twice, and then I have not seen the fourth one at all in my life. But we watched the second one today, Halloweentown II, Kalabar's Revenge.
Woo.
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 It's not really his revenge.
Yeah, it's Cal's revenge.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what we did. I was looking up some of the people in this movie, and I realized that Judith Hoag, who plays Gwen in the movie The Mom, played April O'Neil in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies. I did not know that.
That's fun.
There's a notable actress. So I want to just make a note of that, and up top,
Up a tippity top.
tippity top of the show.
Woo.
But let's get into it. They're older in this one. This was made in 2001. The first one was 1998, I think.
I don't know.
It's been a few years.
Yeah.
3 to 5 years. I'm pretty sure 3 years.
2 years in movie time.
Oh yeah, true. 2 years in movie time. So they're older. Marnie's what, 15 at this point?
No, she's not.
How old is she?
She was about to graduate from college. High school, not college.
No.
Yeah? They were talking
she
about how
wasn't.
she's going to graduate and move to Halloweentown with her grandma.
That doesn't make any sense though, because in the next movie, she's in high school. I'm pretty sure.
Oh. Well,
Still,
I don't know.
I don't
Because
know.
they were talking about her going to Halloweentown
Well,
very
but she was
soon.
13 in the first one, and so if it's been 2 years, she's 15.
Well, she's
So,
graduating from high school.
well, I don't think so. How about that? How about them apples?
Oh, no apples.
How about them the delicious apples?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that happened. Dylan, he's much older. He had a growth spurt, and he's went through that change that all the kids go through, what we call puberty.
There you go.
And then Sophie kind of looks the same. She's a little older.
Yeah.
She pretty much still looks like a youngin.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we got, you know. It starts with a recap of the first movie, which is strange, I thought.
Did they?
Yeah. It started with just I guess it made sense in no, it didn't actually, in terms of the movie. It's just Marnie doing a voiceover and just this is what happened in the last movie.
Yeah.
It's playing happy music as they're defeating this evil warlock and stuff.
Okay, I don't know. She's 13 in Halloweentown, 15 in Halloweentown 2, 16 to 17 in Halloweentown High, and 18 in Halloweentown, and Return to
What?
Halloweentown.
That's weird. But yeah, because she looks very old in this one, and also very old in Halloweentown High.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, it starts with that recap. It's Halloween again, obviously. It's a Halloween movie. She's typing onto her computer. This movie really went all out with the new millennium if you know what I
With
mean.
computers.
Yeah, it's all like this whole movie is just like all with computers and technology and hacking and chat rooms.
So cool.
Yeah, it's very cool and hip and modern. But she's like on some sort of chat room with someone. That's never really explained. She's just like chatting with someone.
She's hanging out with her friends.
I guess so. We see some like face on her wall looking at her.
It's Kale.
Well, spoilers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, not really.
I'm sorry.
This is a person. But anyway, there's like a party happening at their house. So I guess to compromise with their mom, I'm just assuming this. Instead of letting them go out for Halloween, they just have Halloween parties at their house.
Still doesn't make sense why they can't go out.
Yeah, like they're still not going out.
She doesn't turn into a werewolf or anything.
Yeah, exactly. She's always a witch.
Yeah.
So you can't really do anything about that. But yeah. So there's just a hip old party happening. Marnie comes on down.
Wanna come down?
Marnie come down. She helped. She's. What is happening? She helped her grandma. To take a what? Why are you doing this? The microphone is not a cigarette. It's not a cigarette.
So sorry.
But she's helping grandma, give some stuff to the kiddo with some candy and outfits and things like that. I don't know why she's giving them outfits. It's Halloween. They should have those by now.
You know.
Oh, for the kids who forgot to get
Yeah.
costumes.
Like her brother.
Yeah, I guess.
He's a fucking nerd.
Yeah, you're just like, well, I don't like Halloween.
Halloween.
Halloween's, I don't like it. Whatever. Yeah, then grandma goes upstairs to like spy on some people in Halloweentown, I guess. Like
She's checking up on her friends. She's not
I
spying.
guess. She got a little crystal ball that shows her like things that are going on. She sees this guy named Gort and some other lady, I forgot her name. Astrid, you got it.
I got it.
They're just chatting, having a nice chat about something. I don't remember. But yeah, she's like, oh, look, classic Gort. Classic Astrid. Oof. Oofa doofa. Oofa doof. But yeah, that happens. What else is going on? Oh yeah. Sophie is like up there. She follows her up. And it's like, oh, who's that? And she explains it's Gort. Everything that ever gets lost in the worlds just ends up at his house. He just has all the lost like socks and books and stuff.
Let's talk about him at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, I feel like it was good.
I didn't notice that they talked about him.
Oh wow, exactly. I thought it was good. I thought they slid that in real well. Wasn't too obvious, but yeah. What happens next? Yeah, she's like, oh, I'll wait till next Halloween to go visit my friends and family, or I guess not family, friends in Halloweentown, just because I want to spend time with you guys. It was fun times.
Be too sad to go back.
Yeah, exactly. Then we see Luke. He's grown up. I guess he's a goblin. They explain.
Yeah, they explained that in the first movie.
Did they explain that in the first movie? I thought they were just like he's a dude.
No.
An ugly man.
He's a goblin.
Okay, well, he's a goblin. He's looking good now. Like, I never understood that. Like, I guess he grew up, but he looked terrible in the first movie. And now he just looks like kind of like a weird person.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He grew into his goblin.
I guess so. Well, I think that's what Grandma says. She's like, oh, he's becoming a fine goblin these days. So who knows? Who knows? What's next? Oh yeah, Sophie again, classic line, says that somebody's coming, and she's like, "Oh, what's happening now?" So they go to leave. Grandma's room is like magical, and it's like a hidden door that she can like hide with magic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they can't just make it like a normal door.
She doesn't want people going in her room.
Just disguise your room.
Also, I think she like built that room onto the house with magic.
That's true. That makes more sense, actually. Well, there we go.
Did it?
Marnie and Mom, they're just arguing about something. I didn't write it down. I don't remember. They're always just arguing about like,
about her wanting to leave and go to Halloweentown for a year.
Yeah, and she's like, no, you're a human. You stay.
Not a human.
Some guy walks up. So this is the introduction of Cal, one of the main characters of this film.
Cal and his pal.
Yeah. He is introduced as like a new kid.
Mm-hmm.
But what I don't understand is like Marnie sees him, turns around, and says, the bomb. Like, I think they were trying to use hip millennium
Is
lingo.
that what she said?
Yeah, she says the bomb. Like, he's the bomb, but she thought it was, she was using it as like a nickname. Like, that's not how that term works. I think these writers just like thought, oh, maybe she said something else. Who knows?
Are you sure that's what she said? 'Cause I
I'm pretty
remember
sure
saying
she
that
says
when we watched it,
the
but then I
bomb.
don't remember where that was. I feel like that's not what she said.
The bomb. That's what she says. Do it. Let's go. Let's look it up. Isn't like the first 10 minutes of the movie?
Okay.
Yeah, she just says, she just turns around and says, the bomb.
I don't get it. I don't understand.
I think they were just trying to use hip lingo, but they didn't understand what it meant. So they're just like, Marnie's just going to say the bomb when she sees him. But what I don't understand is she knows who this guy is. She has the hots for him. She calls him the bomb. He's a new kid. He's not even registered at the school yet.
I'm pretty sure he said he moved there last night.
Yeah. So, like, how does she know who this guy is?
He's the bomb.
He's the bomb. But whatever. He comes up with his dad. But yeah, she comes up. He comes up. I mean, with his dad, Alex. They they introduce themselves to the family, and then Cal's just like hitting on Marnie the whole time. We said his name was Cal, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We said that. I was just hitting on Marnie. You know, classic smooth guy.
Classic. The bomb.
Yeah, and then we cut over to Dylan. He's trying to ask some girl to. I guess there's a costume party tonight for the school or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The school's having a costume party.
And Dylan tries to ask a girl to a party, and he gets rejected.
That's because he's a fucking nerd. And
Yeah.
He's not even wearing a costume.
Seriously, what a loser!
Can't
He's
ask
just
me
like
to a
what?
costume
He's wearing
party
like
if you're
a.
not in a costume.
He's wearing like
Like a movie.
Yeah,
vest,
that's like
yeah.
the vest they wore in like Drake and
Yeah.
Josh.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's wearing that probably because he's a nerd.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marnie just brings Cal up to her room because he's the bomb.
He's like, give me a tour of your house. He's like, okay.
She's like, oh, you're hot. I guess I will.
My house, my room.
He's like, oh, it's very plain. It's not like you.
Should you fucking judge me?
You're a cool girl.
Cool cat.
But she mentions like, oh, well, my grandma's room is real cool, more like me. He's like, oh, I'd like to see it. And she just brings him to it. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, there you go.
But she uses magic to wisp it to life.
I mean, yeah, because the door is like closed.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a portal.
Ooh.
Maybe it's
like
not
a pocket
actually.
dimension.
Yeah.
But yeah, she opens it, and then they walk into the hallway, and he says, was that there before? And she says, this is a secret.
Shh.
Why did she just fucking trust this dude?
Yeah, she's telling him so much.
It's just he's so hot, and he's
She's
the
so
bomb.
blinded by love.
Blinded by the bomb.
The bomb.
Mm-hmm. She's like tries to play it off like none of this stuff is real. There's like a bunch of,
It's just for Halloween.
yeah, containers with like, oh, hair of the werewolf and stuff like that.
That must have been hard to get.
Yeah, it's like, oh, my grandma's so into witch stuff. And he's like, oh, let me check out this spell book. And she's like, no, you can't look at it. Don't look at
Don't
it.
touch it.
So he's like, fine. But so they leave. But Marnie leaves first for some fucking reason.
Okay,
Not
but,
how you
like,
do anything.
He's looking at her room right now, and they've known each other for 5 minutes, and he's gonna judge her based on her room.
I don't get it. Like, they seem like they know each other
Yeah.
somehow. But he literally just moved there.
You don't know what
like,
she's like. She's playing Jane.
Right now.
Yeah.
It.
He says they haven't even unpacked.
It's
Stupid.
it's terrible.
Stupid.
This whole introduction to this character is like they could have done so much better. It's not even hard to introduce this character. It could have just been like, oh, he's a hot guy.
Yeah.
But no, they like introduce him like, oh, I know this guy. He goes to my school even though he's not registered and just moved here today. Yeah, whatever. So Marnie leaves the room first.
For some reason.
Which is a terrible idea. And Cal, he waves his hand over the spell book and it turns small and he puts it in his pocket because he's a
pocketbook.
warlock.
Whoa.
He's a warlock. Evil man. They go downstairs and, Alex and invites Gwen to the costume party.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they're. Well, I guess they can probably like chaperone maybe, because like
It
they're
seems
not.
like it was like a community event.
Yeah, but they also mentioned at some point.
That he was gonna crash it because he's not registered.
Yeah, like they mentioned you have to go with someone from the school. I don't know. Maybe they're chaperoning. But anyway, Gwen gets invited by Alex, Cal's dad, and then I think Cal invites Marnie to the party as well and gives her a rose.
Ew. You know who gave somebody a rose in the first movie?
Kalabar.
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 Chocolate bar.
Chocolate bar. His nickname is Chalk.
Choc-
But yeah, he goes outside and like makes a portal or something.
Yeah, because they can make portals now.
Yeah, well, that's not. You don't know that yet. But he just
Oh.
like makes a portal,
I'm
and we're
sorry.
like, what the fuck is that?
Spoiler.
Yeah, Grandma notices her bag is empty, and all the kids are very disappointed, especially this one kid who didn't get any candy at all. It's like, what the heck? Just my luck.
Just my luck.
But they're like, oh, what's going on? We have to go see what's going on. We gotta go back to Halloweentown and check it out.
No.
Yeah, Grandma tries to convince Gwen to let her take the kids with her, but Gwen's like, no, Sophie's gotta stay, and I'm gonna go to a costume party. And then Dylan's like, I can watch Sophie, don't worry about it.
That's cool.
Actually, I don't think that happens yet, but
No,
that
it
happens
doesn't.
eventually. So Marnie and Grandma, they're gonna go to Halloweentown. Grandma gives Dylan this thing called a headphone, which is just like a little like shrunken skull that you can talk between worlds with.
It's a walkie-talkie head.
Yeah, it's very neat because when you talk into it, the other
And
skull
the
like
mouth
moves. Like
yeah.
it's very good. So they go over to where the bus stop's supposed to be. The bus is not there. And Marnie tries to like summon the bus or something.
She does very bad.
Yeah, it doesn't work. But then they just summon a portal. Like you do.
Yeah.
Why do they even need the bus anymore?
Yeah, why would you
I
try
guess,
to
like-
take the bus? But why would you try to take the bus if you could just take a portal?
That's true. Like you're a witch, just summon a portal.
Yeah.
I understand it for the other creatures, but you can just make a portal.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what they do. They just make a portal. They mentioned something here about Marnie, like, I'm not very good yet. Like, it's been 2 years.
And you can't even summon a fucking bus?
Yeah, your grandma lives with you.
Yeah.
I'm sure you get plenty of training.
You dummy.
But so now we see Alex is still, hitting on Gwen, and he starts to leave because he's gonna go get his costume on, I guess.
Yeah.
And he like bumps into Dylan when he leaves.
Stares at him and
Yeah.
drops a frog.
It's very awkward. He drops a frog on the ground. Dylan just kind of looks at it. He doesn't really do anything with the frog. Is that frog just like there now in their house?
I think so.
Okay.
She lives with them.
Yeah. Oh no. So now they're in Halloweentown. Grandma Aggie and Marnie. It sounded like I said 3 people.
Yeah,
but
you did
Grandma
say
Aggie.
Grandma Aggie and
That's her
Marnie.
name. I just wanted to say her name to make sure that you don't think I forgot her name.
Grandma
her name is
Aggie.
Aggie.
I get you.
Agatha Cromwell.
The third.
No.
The fourth.
No.
The first.
Yep. I don't know.
I know.
Who knows?
Mm.
But they're there, and everything's gray, and everybody's walking around like zombies or something.
No.
They bump into Astrid, and she's all boring and like sad. Well, not
She's
sad.
got some
She's just
sensible shoes.
like, yeah, she has sensible shoes. So boring. The pumpkin's gone. It's replaced with like a block of bricks.
Yeah. Block o' brick.
A block of brick. And then Luke bumps into them while they're walking. Marnie like goes over to him, and he's like starting to turn more and more gray. Everyone's just like,
They turn gray and they turn into humans.
yeah. So they figure out there's some sort of spell on Halloweentown that's turning all the monsters into like boring, like a caricature of a human.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, gotta go to work.
Ooh.
At this point, I was thinking like it'd be good if like in Halloweentown on Halloween they dressed up as humans and
Let's
they're
talk
like,
about taxes.
oh no, Texas, I gotta go to the office. Oh, don't forget to feed the dog, honey. I will be back by supper.
It'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Should make a movie about that. Boom. It's,
Human
Halloweentown number 5.
Yep, there we go.
But yeah, they also mention here, they're like, oh, we can just reverse the spell if we say the spell backwards.
For some reason, that's how spells work.
Yeah, so like they just drop that in there real quick. Oh yeah, so they like call Dylan on the headphone to get the spell book, and they're like, oh, he's like, oh, the spell book's gone. Where'd it go? Oh no. And they're like, who could have gone in my room? I didn't, and Sophie didn't. And Marty's like, oh, I did. I brought a boy in.
It was only for a second. I know he wouldn't take it.
Even though I left the room first and didn't
Even
watch
though
what
I've
he
only
did.
known him for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
I know he wouldn't do that.
But yeah. And then they try to open a portal back to the human world, and they can't.
No.
They're not allowed. And then they hear Cal. And they go look on the big block of bricks, and his face is on the block of bricks. Yeah, he's talking to him. He's like, "Oh, I'm Kalabar's son. Oh,
This is my revenge.
Yeah, it's my revenge for him. I'm gonna take over the mortal world. Blah 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 blah." They're like, "Why did you do this to Halloweentown?" He's like, "Oh, this gray spell is the first step, and the finale comes at midnight in the mortal world."
But like, the gray spell doesn't make sense. Why?
Yeah, his like whole thing is like, we're gonna liberate the people of Halloweentown and take over the world. Why would you do something bad to the people of Halloweentown?
Why would you turn them into humans when
That's
those are the people you hate?
This is literally the exact opposite of what your dad was doing.
What are you doing, Cal?
You are not doing good to your legacy. So what Grandma does, she calls a taxi. They're gonna go to her house now to try to find, because she mentions that she's got another spell book.
Yeah.
Got a copy. So they call a taxi. Benny's there, the taxi guy. But he's just a dude now.
He's just a human.
Yeah. They go to her house with Luke. Luke is still all boring and great, but he's following them. Oh yeah. So this is the point where I was like, why do they keep talking about spells, right? Because like in the first movie, they talked about spells a little bit, but then also in the movie, Grandma just says magic. You just think about what you want and you let yourself have it. So I feel like spells are useless.
I think they didn't think that part through.
Yeah, like at all.
Yeah.
Like they really didn't think about the mechanics of magic in these movies, because sometimes you need a spell and sometimes you can just do a thing.
It's
like
in Harry Potter.
Yeah. Well, but not really though.
Why not really?
Because I don't know.
Sometimes they say spells and sometimes they just do it.
Well, in Harry Potter, that's also dumb. I don't like that either. But they explain it like, oh, powerful wizards don't have to say it because they just know it or something. But in this, like, we're watching the movie on mute right now just to get in the mood, and they just summoned the portal. I don't think they said anything when they summoned the portal.
No, they
did
said
they?
something. Yeah, they said something in a different language.
Sometimes they don't have to say anything, and then sometimes they can just make something up.
Yeah, I don't get it. And why does it have to be in Welsh? Why are most of the spells in Welsh?
And like, also, why does he need the spell book to do this? If you can just do a thing, he can just do it. Like, their whole thing with spells is like, you want something, so you just say some shit, and it happens if you really want it to happen. So if he really wanted to put this gray spell on Halloweentown, he would have just like made up some gibberish Welsh, and it would have happened. Because that's how they explained how magic works in the first movie.
I feel like they didn't think this through. Oh, he's gonna chop the frog.
They really didn't think this through. They're in the house now, and it's all boring. Oh no! Oh.
Look at my china cabinet.
Yeah, and so here's another thing that I thought of at this point. Why does she have this spell in her spell book? What made her think of this spell? She's just like, oh, just in case?
So you gotta keep it in your back pocket just in case Halloweentown gives you too much sass.
Yeah. I'll show you Halloweentown. I'll make you all boring humans. Like, why? They're like afraid of him having the spell book. So she's like, don't have spells like this in your spell book, maybe. How about that?
It's not like you're gonna use it.
They're always mentioning, oh, it's against the code of Merlin or whatever.
No, it's against the code of Merlin to steal spells.
Oh, that's what it was. But I think they also mentioned like this spell was banned. Oh no, the other spell was banned. I don't know if this spell's banned. Probably is, honestly. But yeah. So I don't know why she fucking has this spell in her book. It's she's got some plotting that she's been doing, I guess. They look around the house. It's just like a sped up montage of them looking around. Grandma just gives up immediately. She just like sits down. Is like, it's useless. Never find it.
She kind of gave up a lot during the whole movie.
Yeah, she has a shitty attitude this whole time. Like, she's not doing anything to help. They also give up without going upstairs, which I thought was weird, because Luke is just like chilling by the stairs, and they don't go up the stairs at all. Like, did you think about? Did you?
You have a whole second floor.
There's an entire like other half of this house that you haven't looked in.
But like,
Maybe she just forgot.
I give up.
Yeah, that's it. It's not here. Forget about it. But then they're like, oh, well, didn't you know? There's a guy, Gort. Everything that gets lost just shows up at his house. So let's go over at his house.
Yeah.
See if he's got it. So they go over there. Well, they head over there, and now we cut back over to the mortal world. Gwen and the kids, they're talking about the party and stuff. Alex comes up behind her in like a frog costume. Ribbit. And he's like, oh, I got this mask for you. Mina and Cal picked it out.
Yeah.
It's just like a spooky, weird goblin mask.
Scary.
Yeah. And Dylan's like, yeah, I can watch after. This is where Dylan's like, yeah, I'll watch after Sophie while you go to the party. Don't worry about
I
it.
was forever away from where you said.
Yeah. But that happens. And then now they're at Gort's house. He answers, and he's so boring. The boring Gort, I think, is my favorite character in this movie.
He's wonderful. He just wants to organize his socks.
Yeah, he's just organizing the socks. But yeah, he's just got a big pile of socks. They come in, they're like, oh, let me look at your books. He's like, sure, yeah, come on. And there's like 10 books there.
Not even.
Yeah, there's like 6.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
And they're like, where's all the other books? He's like, oh, I had a yard sale. I sold them all. I just kept the necessary ones.
The tapioca
Yeah,
pudding one.
Yeah. They ask him if he remembers if he sold a spell book to somebody, and then he thinks for a little bit, and he's like, do you think these socks match? And then they're just like, oh, it's useless. And Grandma again gives up completely.
Yeah.
She just sits on the ground and is like,
She's
fucking, oh, and then she starts to turn gray.
Oh no.
Oh no, what's happening? Cal shows up, like his face is in the fire, and he's talking to them. He's like, oh, I knew you would go to Gort, so I trapped you here. You can't leave. Yeah, they like tried the door.
Yeah, the door was locked.
Yeah. He's like, oh, your mom's coming to this party. We're gonna have some fun at this party. And he's like, oh, Alex. He mentioned something about Alex not being his real dad or something. He's like, oh yeah, he's like more of a science experiment, is what he says. And then Grandma mentions that the spell he's going to use at midnight was banned because it turns humans into the things they're dressed up as on Halloween. Oh, spooky. Then we cut over back to the mortal world. Sophie is reading the Halloweentown book again, that like the picture book that Grandma gave her. And I guess there's just a passage about golems now.
Duh.
Just like a informational like encyclopedia passage about golems that explains what they like. She read the whole book to them in that movie. I do not remember that part.
Maybe it's a different book.
Yeah, maybe it's Halloweentown II, Kalabar's Revenge. But yeah, she's like, I think I really like. They drew the connection so fast in this movie. I think they're just like, I think Alex is a golem made of frogs. You know, because you bumped into him that one time and there was a frog, and now he's dressed up in a frog costume.
Genius.
I think he's a golem made of frogs.
I think, yeah. I agree. I would have. I guessed that before they even showed him.
Yep, honestly.
I was like, there's gonna be a frog golem.
I heard the name Alex, and I was like, frog golem. So that's what I am.
Shit. The secret's out.
Uh-huh. I've been a frog golem the whole time.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I still love you.
Are you a fly?
No. Oh.
You're not a fly?
Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, but Dylan's like, no way. I hate Halloween. You know, classic. But now we're back in Halloweentown. Marnie's trying to figure out how to reverse the spell. Oh, I didn't mention this. When they were in Grandma's house, she was like talking to Grandma. She's like, oh no, there's some sort of trap, like a spell or something. We gotta get it out of here. Blah. And as she's talking, Luke just becomes normal again.
Yeah, I didn't catch her saying, what was it, apart?
No, Trappa.
Trappa. Same thing.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But anyway, she's trying to. So Luke is normal now this whole time. Sorry that I forgot to explain that part. But she's like, oh, you know, if we're not allowed to go back into the mortal world, we should just, do what hackers do when they're hacking the system. Just look for the back door.
Go through the back door.
And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she's like, and it's like, no, I don't really know.
Please explain.
But she's like, you just gotta go somewhere else. she's like, we're inside and we need to go outside, but why don't we just go somewhere else instead of outside? And
Shit.
yeah, which
Hacked.
that literally does not make sense at all. But okay. And so I guess what she's getting at is time travel.
Yeah, somehow.
So, for some reason, and she's like, "Hey, Grandma, you know that spell for time travel?" And she's like, "Yeah, I got it fucking right here." She just like has a spell for time travel that she memorized and is like, "Cool, got it."
Thanks.
She didn't. Yeah. Okay. Wait. I just thought of this. So whatever. The spell that he used to like turn everybody gray is just the word apart.
Yeah.
And so like he got reversed when she said trappa because it's apart backwards.
There's no way nobody has ever not said apart.
Also, she wrote that spell. It's one fucking word. She can't remember it.
Oh my god.
It's the word apart. And she can't remember that spell? Are you fucking kidding me, Aggie? You have got to be shitting me.
She's hundreds of years old.
I really don't think she gave a shit throughout this whole movie.
No.
I think she was just like, oh, yeah, I don't remember that spell.
No,
Not at
sir.
all. Oh. She just actually just wanted to chill with Gort and be boring.
Yeah, she just wanted to get some socks.
That makes me so mad now. It's just one fucking word and she could not remember the fucking word. Why did she make this super powerful spell just one word also?
Yeah,
It's all her fucking
she didn't
fault.
think this through.
It's not whatever her name, Marnie's fault. It's Grandma's fault. Making such a dumbass spell and she can't even remember it. Anyway, so yeah, they have Grandma write down the time travel spell real quick before she fades into the gray, and then she's all gray and she's excited about the socks.
Yeah.
She asks Gort to go get more socks so they can sort more. But yeah, they like say the spell and they travel just like 5 minutes back in time, and they say it again, and they just travel like into there's a caveman. I don't see. Do they just have to like think of how long they want to go back? Is it random? Completely random?
I think she had to say it with more oomph.
And this is another thing I brought up in the car when we were driving today. Is they made Halloweentown for themselves like thousands of years ago because it's a world they made. But they went back in time to a caveman. Did they make this world when cavemen were a thing? Did they travel somehow to the human world to see a caveman?
I don't know where the caveman would have came from.
Like, was no one like, hey, remember how they're in Halloweentown right now? Like, I don't think this, like, caveman joke's gonna work, guys. Sorry to bring that up, but I don't think that's gonna really work with the whole continuity of this movie. But that's just something that bothered me. Anyway, that happens. And now they travel back forward and they're in Gort's house. But, like, no one's there. It's just Marnie by herself. And then Cal's there.
No.
Yeah, he taunts her a little bit and then leaves. He's just like, you're never gonna get me,
You're a
nerd.
nerd.
She travels again. She's in Gort's house again. It's all normal. Luke is back. It's not gray anymore. They're looking around, and then Gort comes in. He's mad. He's like, what are you doing in my house? I'm the mean man. And they're like, no, please, we need to find this book, please. Oh, no. And he's like, no, get out of my house. And as they're leaving, she's like, oh, I guess your house is going to just be all boring and gray. And he's like, what?
Oh, no.
Not in my house. But yeah, that happens. Now we see Dylan and Sophie. They figured out that Alex is a golem made of frogs.
Mm-hmm.
So they get on the broomstick and they fly to the party. It's a quick scene.
Yeah.
Dylan's costume. Oh, we didn't even say Sophie's costume. She's a cowgirl.
Uh-huh.
Dylan's costume. He just puts on a poncho.
Does he put on a sombrero, or is it just the
I think
poncho?
he has a sombrero. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just this like a racist Mexican stereotype.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool. That happens. So now we see Marnie like just looking through this big pile of shit because Gort's house is a mess. And she finds a big old cockroach, and I guess it's Gort's pet, Spike. Got a little collar that says Spike on it.
Oh yeah.
Gort's like, my boy. And he's like, oh, you talking about like the spell book? Oh, I sold it to Kalabar 50 years ago. And so they're like, oh, you've been playing this for a while.
And then they don't travel back 50
Yeah.
years.
Seriously.
They just give up.
They give up. They could have just traveled back 50 years and then been like, hey, can we have this book? And he's like, I guess so. Like,
No, I give up. I know I just time traveled like 5 times, but I give up.
Yeah, that's it. I'm done. But now we're at the Halloween costume party. Dylan's just getting roasted by some girls again for being a nerd. They find the mom. They tell the mom everything they figured out, and she doesn't believe them. They're like, whatever. He's a nice guy. He's not a frog golem or whatever. They try to like remember. Oh yeah. So now we're back in Halloweentown now, and they're trying to remember how they reversed the spell when they made Luke turn back into normal. And they realize that they said Trappa, which is a part backwards, so the spell is a part. And they test it out on Gort, and it works. They turn him like boring and normal back and forth. And he's like, nah, stop it. Blah. So then they try to do the time travel spell again, but they lost it.
Oh no!
And they're like, oh, well, if it's lost, then it just shows up at your house, right? And he's like, no, if something gets lost here, it's just gone.
Well, she didn't lose it. She sat it on the table.
Yeah, so just go look at the table. They didn't even look at the table.
It's not lost if it's on the table.
Also, what I don't understand is, like, there's piles of shit all over his house. Stuff should just be disappearing constantly, right?
I mean...
So I feel like it wouldn't be dirty. I think the logic there is also flawed.
I think so, too.
Because, like...
Because, like, he can't remember every single thing that's there.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of piles of shit.
Yeah, and if she said something on the table and it's already lost...
Yeah, so then I feel like everything would be gone.
Yeah.
Or at least there would be, like, 5 things on the ground.
All those socks would definitely be gone.
But that's just dumb logic. Anyway, so they lost the time travel spell. She said it like 5 fucking times and still doesn't remember it somehow. So she just tries to say a bunch of gibberish like she did in the first movie.
She should have made a song about it.
Yeah, and the song's just the words of the spell.
Yeah, duh.
But she says some gibberish and like gives Gort some curly blonde hair and he's mad. That's very funny. And then we go back to the Halloween party. Gwen's just like yelling at them still. Alex is bringing over cookies, and Sophie just like starts grilling him. Mm-hmm. She's like, "Oh, just I saw some
frogs."
Yeah, I saw some guy dressed up as a frog." He's like, "Oh," starts like licking his lips.
You're like some flies. you wanna fly?
You wanna fly, buddy?
Fly.
So she like creates a fly in front of him, and he eats it like a frog. And Gwen's like, "Wow!" So Gwen just, turns him into a pile of frogs. She just, I guess, reverses the golem spell
somehow
because she knows that spell. Doesn't need to say it. Oh no, I think she says something.
Yeah, she does say something.
She reverses the golem spell, and now he's a pile of frogs. And I guess no one noticed.
In the middle of a super busy Halloween party.
Yeah, like Gwen yells at Sophie for making a fly appear out of nowhere, and then she just turns a guy into a pile of frogs.
Yeah, you could have gone outside.
Yeah, she's like, I'm an adult. It's fine. So they try to talk to Marnie through the headphone because they try to tell her like all the stuff they figured out, but it's not working. They can't reach her. Gives her give them like an error message.
Trying to reach cannot be reached at this time.
Yeah. But back in Halloweentown, Marnie keeps trying the spell. Gort's just like dressed up in colorful clothing. He's got some more hair, a bunch of lawn gnomes. Very funny stuff. Gort mentions he has a timeline. I don't know why he just now mentioned it.
Yeah, I mean, they've been trying to time travel for like an hour.
Yeah, but he's like, I guess some wizard lost it. And he opens a closet, and it's just like, it's a timeline.
Literal
with some
timeline.
Yeah, with some like cool computery vectors and stuff flying around. And I guess like you can just go in it and time travel.
Duh. You just land.
So they've been talking about traveling through time this whole time. And Gort's like, oh, yeah, I got one of those.
I got you. He could have saved himself the trouble of so many gnomes.
Yeah. But I guess for some reason you have to fly through it.
Well, if you just jump, you're going to
land in the time. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So Marnie like pulls out a broom. It's super fancy. It's got like a seat on it and like handlebars. It looks nothing like a broom anymore.
Kind of lame.
Yeah, and Luke's just like very scared to fly. Oh, I don't want to go on it. But then they get on. He's whoa. But now they are back. We cut back to the party. Let's see. Gwen's just telling the kids like, "Oh, go look for Cal. Where is he? Oh, no. Oh yeah. And at this point, I was trying to figure out like the spell that he's gonna cast on the people turns them into the costumes they're wearing. But like, what if someone's just wearing like a person, like, because Sophie's dressed up as a cowgirl. Does she turn into something, or is she just stay normal?
But like the people that were in human-looking ones stayed
Yeah.
normal because there's a fairy, and that person didn't turn into a fairy.
Yeah.
It's only the ugly ones.
No, I think it's when he was casting the spell, he was casting it at certain people. So I think maybe just like the fairy didn't get hit with a blast or whatever. But like, what do you think would happen? Would she just like be like, oh, yeehaw, howdy, or would she just like stay normal because that's just normal cowboy clothes?
I don't even know. I don't think Disney knew either.
Yeah.
Honestly,
That's probably why they didn't make them
Yeah.
transform. But yeah. So they're still flying through the timeline, and they decide to go into this hole. They're like, I guess this will probably take us there.
it's a wormhole.
Yeah, wormhole. The people at the party, the people at the Halloween party are counting down to midnight.
A minute before
a
midnight.
minute before midnight on Halloween.
I mean, I just love the day after Halloween. November 1st is my favorite holiday.
It's All Souls Day. I
Duh.
love me some All Souls Day. It's All Souls Eve, or is it All Souls Day, or is it something else?
I think it's All Souls Day. I don't know.
I just love it. So we gotta count it down, just like if it
For
was
a
New Year's.
Whole
Like,
minute.
why did they put this in here?
They
Literally,
tried
New
to-
Year's Eve is the only holiday
Well,
where you count down to midnight because it fucking makes sense.
I think they put it in there to to stress the fact that they said they can't come back after Halloween.
Yeah, but
And it's dumb. It's really dumb.
it's so dumb. Why are they counting down to midnight on Halloween? Also, what kind of school party goes till midnight? Honestly.
That's what there is to the faculty counting down until they get to go home.
Yeah, I guess. It's so dumb. They could have done any of this way better. They just like decided to write it dumb for some reason.
We're rewriting them.
Yep, we're gonna make a remake of this. Just this one, not any of the other ones. Just this second one. Gwen, she like sees Cal standing up in the rafters. He's like casting spells. He casts a spell to keep her mask glued to her face, so she turns into a spooky goblin. Marnie and Luke, they're back in the present. They're like, let's try and open this thing.
Let's go back home.
Yeah. Oh, well, first they're gonna turn Grandma back to normal, and he's like, "You can do it." Like it was this very serious, dramatic moment where he's like, "You can do it."
I know.
It's like, yeah.
I know. I can't. It's one
I
word.
just fucking say Trappa. I've been doing it
Did it like 5 times.
constantly.
Yeah.
I know I can do it. It's not like dramatic.
Trappa.
You can do it.
Thanks.
But yeah, they turn her back to normal. And then they try and open a portal, but they can't. Oh no!
Wait, no, they can.
Oh no! They do. Never mind. They can't. They can.
They can.
No. But the portal's gonna close in like 20 seconds.
I don't know, with plenty of time to get through.
And guess what? Grandma gives up.
She's like, oh no,
We
do
can't
it.
make it.
It's
20
not worth
seconds
it.
to walk like 3 feet. Oh,
There's like 3 stairs too.
I know.
Oh,
Awful. I can't. What's it? We can't make it.
done.
And then Marnie just stands there trying to hold the door open instead of going
like
through.
walking through it.
And she just sees
I
all
think
this shit
Grandma
happening.
just used all of this as an excuse to go back to Halloweentown.
Yeah, seriously.
She is facing some major depression,
Yeah, I think
in my opinion.
I think she needs to see someone about that.
Yeah.
Maybe she just needs some friends, honestly.
Yeah, some magic friends.
Yeah. So that happens, yeah. Cal, he's just turning a bunch of people into their costumes. And this is like the weird thing to me also is like, what are any of these people dressed as? Because like
Scary minion.
they're turning into weird like monsters, but it's like, who just is like, oh yeah, I'll pick this mask that's just a big blue man with a big forehead. That sounds like a good costume for Halloween.
Mhm.
Big man with blue forehead.
Got it. Perfect.
And yeah, and then the other guy, he's just like a spooky minion man.
Yeah.
Like a cyclops.
No.
Minion.
Minion.
Yeah. Moonion.
Minion.
But yeah, he turns into like a cyclops. And she's like, who's just like, yeah, yellow cyclops mask? Got it. That's my
Boom.
Halloween costume.
Yep, I want to be that.
I'm going to be yellow cyclops.
That's a walking full-size frog. That's not
Why
what
is-
Alex
yeah.
looks like.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like again, we're watching the movie, so we're seeing some of this stuff. Alex is. That's not how golems work.
They're made
Golems.
of clay,
Well, you can make golems out of anything.
or is that just the Jewish one?
Yeah, that's the Jewish one. But you can make golems out of like anything in D&D lore. I mean, I'm not gonna say D&D lore is like the end all be all of magic lore or anything, but like in most lore, a golem is made up of like the things it's made up of. Like a stone golem is like made of stone. So like this guy would just be a bunch of frogs. He wouldn't look like a human. This wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But also the logic is completely flawed in this movie. So yeah, anyway, what is happening now? Oh yeah, he's turning people into their costumes. And the cow just puts on a cool cloak for no reason. He wants to look cool. But again, Grandma just gives up. Marnie's like super mad. Marnie calls Sophie on the headphone, and she's like, "Oh, we're strong at magic. We can just make the portal open ourselves."
Yeah, duh.
Yeah, but my problem with this is if they wanted to make this movie good, like they would have tried to figure out a way to turn the portal back. Like they were these ancient wizards. They did this thing where they opened the portal or whatever, you know. But instead, they're just like, we're strong at magic, so we can just open the portal, and they just do it.
It's how magic works. You want something, you get it.
Yeah, but it's just like, it's so lame. Instead of like going through a struggle or like figuring out a puzzle or something, they just do it, and it's boring.
They just needed to wrap it up.
They're just like, Sophie, let's just open the portal.
Hey, family, we could do anything.
The portal closed? We'll just open it.
Yeah.
And
Hackers.
they just do open it.
They're
and it's
such
like,
hackers.
yeah, it's cool. Also, these people made Halloweentown their own worlds. And for some reason, they're like, how about we put a restriction on going to the human world? How about we just make it so we can only go one day a year?
You can't pick and choose.
Yeah, it's only one day.
Yeah.
Like, why would they put that restriction on themselves?
And also, like, 1 year in Halloweentown, I think they said is like a century in the human world.
Well, yeah, they said that in this movie, and then in the last movie, they said like,
time works different.
yeah.
But
so,
like,
I don't know what the.
how would Grandma be able to go back to her family?
What do you mean?
They'd be dead. 1 year in Halloweentown, they can only travel on Halloween.
Yeah. So it's like a week in her life in Halloweentown time, or like a month in Halloweentown time.
I don't like this.
Yeah, but it's also like she doesn't age with Halloweentown time, like because they say she's like 500 years old or something. So I guess they
Yeah.
age with normal world time.
The timelines do
It
not
really
make sense
does not
to
make
me.
any sense.
Somebody come explain this.
It's so bad. But yeah, so they open the thing. They come in. Cal's not happy about it. Cal's like, "Oh, I'm so strong, you can't beat me." And she's like, "No, come on, it's okay."
No.
What?
1 year. Because like, she said if she goes to Halloween Town for the year, she can't come back home because it's a century. Everybody's going to be gone. They can only come back on Halloween.
No, I don't think they say
No,
that.
they do. They do say that. They say you can't pick and choose, and that's why the mom's really mad. And she was like, "If you go to Halloween Town, then this isn't your world anymore."
What? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
That's what I'm saying.
Halloweentown, their time is longer. What? Yeah, I get what you're saying now. That really does not make any sense.
Yeah.
Because, like, a year in the human world is like a month in Halloweentown, or a week, or whatever. It changes, or whatever they said. Because they didn't want to put a specific time on it, whatever.
But, like, that's why the mom didn't want her to go, because she was going to be gone forever and it was going to be done.
Yeah, that doesn't make any fucking sense. She'd be gone for, well, I guess she'd be gone for a year. But in Marnie's time, it's like a week. Or a month, or whatever.
I think it's a year in Halloweentown time and a century.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
I know. Tell that to the movie.
Gwen, you're an idiot. Stupid. Let her go to Halloweentown for like a month. Whatever. Yeah. Well, no, it would be a year. Never mind. You shut up. So Cal, he's like, "Oh, if you want these books back, you gotta take them." And then he like offers the books, And then there's some weird electric vines twirling around him for some reason, like evil vines.
Told on the books.
Yep. And so she's like, "Oh, I'm not afraid of you," and she's just like covered in a light, and she takes the books because she's
good.
Yeah, because she's not afraid
Good
of him.
as light.
And she does it. She again just does it. No struggle. Just does it. And then he's like, "No!" And he explodes or something. Like those books were like giving
Yeah.
him his life energy. I don't know. Like he still knows the spell. But yeah, so Grandma just reverses the spell real quick. No problem. Everyone's happy. And then they go back to Halloweentown and everyone's all happy and everyone's normal and they're like, "Whoa, happy ending." And then that's it.
Yep.
There's a sick song playing at the credits. I think I'll play that song at the beginning of this episode. It's so
and
good.
It's gonna get taken down for copyright.
Well, it's not gonna get taken out. She's gonna get demonetized by YouTube. But yeah, so that's it. Let's do a gift giving.
Okay.
What did you like about this movie?
Nothing.
I like this movie. I definitely watched the first Halloweentown more when I was a kid, but I also watched this one a lot when I was a kid too. So there's a lot of nostalgia for it. And I think the struggle, like the conflict is better in this one than it was in the first one.
Yeah.
So there wasn't like a big conflict in the first one. It only happened for like 15 minutes. But I do think the first one is more entertaining and like whimsical for children. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This one's more like serious and weird. And then also, this movie is just like the first one. The logic was already terrible, and then they like introduced time travel and shit into this one, and it just got all fucked up.
Yeah.
Like they just were like, forget about it. We're not even gonna try anymore. It's something happens and it does it. But what did you like about it?
I don't know. I thought it was just okay. I like that guy. What's his name?
Gort. Yeah, Gort's very good.
Gort's my jam.
But is that it? Is that all you liked about it?
Yeah, honestly.
What would you rate it?
5.
5? I'd still give it like a...
It's very average to me.
I'd give it like a 6.5.
Yeah.
Pretty good. But you said you liked it more than the first. Well, yeah. When we watched it, for some reason, you said you liked it more than the first one, and then I said, really? And you said, I don't know.
I don't know how I feel about them. They're very okay.
I think I just like them so much because of the nostalgia.
Probably.
Because, yeah, they are probably pretty okay movies.
I feel like maybe if I watched them as a child, I'd probably like them.
Mm-hmm.
But now, the timeline thing is just really
yeah,
bothering
it's just
me.
awful. Okay, let's have this discussion before we go into the celebration tank.
Okay.
So let's figure this time stuff out. So in the first movie, they mentioned that a day like a day in the real world is like a week or a month in Halloweentown time.
Yeah.
So I think we have it backwards. So like a year in the real world is like 7 years in Halloweentown time.
But they were saying it was a century.
Well, because they're all like, oh, it's weird and it changes and it's not consistent or whatever. So like it could be a century or it could be like 5 years. But also Grandma doesn't age. So wait, that doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't. It really doesn't make any sense. Okay, so what? A week in Halloweentown time is like a day in regular time.
Right.
So if there was like 365 days, then it would be like 365 weeks in Halloweentown time, which is like what? Yeah, it's like around 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
But she still ages like a normal human.
Mm-hmm.
And then it will be Halloween, and she can go back there, and it will have only been a year has passed since she's gone in human time.
But she's talking about how she's going to be a stranger in the mortal world.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be a stranger if you left for a year.
Okay, so that doesn't make any sense. We had it right. I think.
Yeah, no, I think we had it
But,
right.
I had it backwards because I kept saying it would be like a month for her, but a year in the real world. But it's the opposite. It would be
Yeah.
like 7 years for her, but only a year in the real world.
You just said the same thing.
No, because what I was saying before was like it would have been 10 months for her, or like a month for her before she got to go back. But it would be like 7 years for her before she got to go back. But she would still only age normally, I guess, because that's how the grandma does it. I don't know. So that doesn't make any fucking sense. Also, I just had a thought. Why they had like 20 seconds left when they summoned that portal. They have a time travel spell.
I know, yeah.
They could have just gone back. What the fuck?
She doesn't use the time travel spell right, and I'm pretty sure they argue again, and I want to watch that so you can see that she says it's like a century.
But I just want to talk about how they could have gone back like 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah. They also could have just gone back 50 years and got that goddamn spell book.
Exactly. They... Okay, well, yeah.
Alright, guys, it's time to open up a portal to the celebration day.
It's still November, which means it's Adopt a Senior Pet Month, Child Safety Protection Month, Historic Bridge Awareness Month, Movember, National Adoption Awareness Month, National Diabetes Awareness Month, National Epilepsy Month, National Georgia Pecan Month, National Gratitude Month, National Marrow Awareness Month, National Novel Writing Month, National Pepper Month, National Pomegranate Month, National Scholarship Month, National Sleep Comfort Month, National Native American Heritage Month, No Shave-vember, Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month, Peanut Butter Lovers Month, Prematurity Awareness Month, and Sweet Potato Awareness Month. Nice. And then it's Tuesday, the 7th. What we got?
It's Bittersweet Chocolate with Almonds Day.
Happy Bittersweet Chocolate with Almonds Day.
Eat some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also October Revolution Day in Belarus.
Happy Belarus.
Yep.
I don't remember what you said it was.
October Revolution Day.
Happy October Revolution Day, Belarus.
It's celebrated in November for some reason. It commemorates the Bolshevik takeover of the government from the provisional government. So there we go. Nice. What's next?
National Canine Lymphoma Awareness Day.
Happy National Canine Lymphoma Awareness Day.
It was Terry Simons was like, I'm gonna make this holiday, and he did that in January 2015.
Nice.
And yeah.
Nice. We'll move on to Wednesday, the 8th. It's Dunce Day.
Happy Dunce Day.
Yeah, in remembrance of Blessed John Duns Scotus, who died November 8th, 1309. He was a Catholic scholar, and he was known as Dr. Subtilis because of his subtle distinctions and nuances of his thinking. Later philosophers in like the 16th century thought his work was like dumb and he's an idiot, so they started using his name Duns as like dunce to mean like someone who's not very scholarly or someone who's stubborn and refuses to learn things. And so that's where the dunce cap came from. They would put that on children who refused to learn and weren't smart and were just like stubborn children, and they would put them in a corner in the dunce cap.
Like a nerd.
Yep. Well, opposite of a nerd. They don't
like
want
a
to
not nerd.
Yeah. What's next?
It is Cook Something Bold and Pungent Day.
Happy Cook Something Bold and Pungent Day.
It's just a wildcat holiday.
It's also National Parents as Teachers Day.
Happy National Parents as Teachers Day?
Yeah. Parents as Teachers National Center in St. Louis, Missouri declared the first Parents as Teachers Day in 2001. Thanks, parents who do homeschooling.
Nice.
Yeah, what's next?
National Cappuccino Day.
Happy National Cappuccino Day.
Go drink one.
Happy National... it's National STEM or STEAM Day.
Happy National STEM or STEAM Day.
Yeah, so STEAM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Art, and Math, and I guess STEM is just that without art. I don't know why.
Oh, well, yeah, classic
take out
government.
the art. All right.
Art's always the first thing to go.
But it's just, it was submitted by MGA Entertainment, and it's just to inspire kids to pursue their interests in science, technology, engineering, art, and math.
Nice.
Yeah, what's next?
National Harvey Wallbanger Day.
Happy National Harvey Wallbanger Day.
What do you think that is?
It's a drink.
I didn't know it was a drink. Yeah, it's a drink.
What is it?
It's 3 parts vodka, 1 part Galliano, and 6 parts orange juice poured in a highball glass and garnished with an orange slice and a maraschino cherry.
That actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Give me one.
Oh, sip.
We'll move on to Thursday the 9th. It's Azerbaijan Flag Day.
Happy Azerbaijan Flag Day.
Yeah, let me show you that flag right
Show me
here.
that flag.
Boom.
Ooh, that's a nice flag.
Yeah, I like it. So it is. Let's describe it. Everyone look up a picture of it, but I'll describe it also if you don't want to look up a picture of it. The blue represents the Turkish, the Turkic multinationalism. The red is for the progress to establish a modern state and the development of democracy, and then green shows the nation's relation to the Muslim world. In the middle of the flag, there is a white crescent and an 8-pointed star. While the crescent and star are typically seen as marks of Islam, some historians disagree on why the 8-pointed star is used in the flag. Some people think there are 8 because it's 8 letters in Azerbaijan when it's written in Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
And then some people think it stands for the 8 Turkic people of Azerbaijan. There are like 7 different kind of like culture types in Azerbaijan, and then there's like one that's kind of is but not really.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's what most people think it is, but no one really knows for sure.
Oh.
But it's a good flag. What do you want to rate that flag? I think I'm gonna give it like a 9.
Really?
I really like this flag.
It's good. I think it's a 8.
8?
Yeah.
This is a pretty good flag.
It's a nice flag.
Mhm. Good job, Azerbaijan. Anyway, what's next?
It is Aberdeen. Wait. Are we on Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay, it's Arbeen.
Happy Arbeen.
Arbaeen. Yeah, it's a Shia Muslim religious observance that occurs 40 days after the day of Ashura. It commemorates the martyrdom of Hussein ibn Ali, the grandson of Muhammad, who was killed on the 10th day of the month of Muharram, and 72 companions were killed by Yazid the First's army in the Battle of Karbala in 61 AH, consistently among the largest peaceful. So to celebrate it, tons of people gather,
Mm-hmm.
and they travel to the city of Karbala in pilgrimage to the Imam Hussein Holy Shrine in Karbala. On Aberdeen Day, the city of Karbala in Iraq is the center of the proceedings, which many pilgrims travel miles on foot to reach. The distance between Basra and Karbala is a long journey, even by car, but it is traveled annually on foot by Iraqi pilgrims, which takes them 2 weeks or approximately 1 month to come from other countries like Iran.
Jeez.
So people just like walk somewhere,
Dang.
and like lots of people do it, and there's like roadblocks and stuff, and
That's kind of fun.
it's fun.
I mean, I don't want to walk that long, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's cool.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's also Independence Day in Cambodia.
Happy Independence Day, Cambodia.
Yeah, it was established to commemorate the anniversary of their independence from France in 1953.
Nice.
Yeah, what's next?
It's Chaos Never Dies Day.
Happy Chaos Never Dies Day.
I don't know, I couldn't find anything about it, but Chaos Never Dies.
Doesn't die. What? It's also Iqbal Day in Pakistan.
Happy Iqbal Day, Pakistan.
Yeah, it marks the birthday of Sir Muhammad Iqbal, who is a philosopher, poet, and politician in British India, who is widely regarded as the ideological father of the state, having inspired the Pakistan movement.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, what's next?
National Scrapple Day.
Happy National Scrapple Day.
Scrapple is arguably the first pork food invented in America, also known by the Pennsylvania Dutch name ponhus. It is traditionally a mush of pork scraps and trimmings combined with cornmeal, wheat flour, and spices.
Okay.
It doesn't sound very good, but go eat
It's
one.
like a stuffing, kinda.
Like a pork stuffing.
Bad pork stuffing.
It's like a Salisbury steak,
Oh,
but
with
pork.
pork.
Because like Salisbury steak is
Yeah.
ground up steak.
I guess It's also Microdia Awareness Day.
Happy Microdia Awareness Day.
Yeah, it's microdia is when your ears do not fully develop during pregnancy, and so you have loss of hearing and you got teeny ears. You just be aware that that exists.
I am now aware.
Yeah. What's next? Oh, it's Friday the 10th. That's what's next. What we got?
National Donor Sabbath Day.
Happy National Donor Sabbath Day.
It's observed 2 weekends before Thanksgiving. From Friday through Sunday, this 3-day observance seeks to include the day of religious worship for major religions practiced in the U.S. During the National Donor Sabbath, faith leaders from many religions, donor families, transplant recipients and donations, and transplantations professionals participate in services and programs to educate the public about the need for the life-saving and healing gifts passed to others through transplantation, while also encouraging people to register their decision to be an organ, eye, and tissue donor.
Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's also Forget-Me-Not Day.
Happy Forget-Me-Not Day.
It was created in 1921 to remind Americans of the sacrifices returning soldiers have made of body, blood, and limb. It was originally made to raise funds for services for them when they come home. And the day also has its own special flower, which is called the Forget-Me-Not.
Shocker.
Yeah, it's a flower. It's the state flower of Alaska. It grows well throughout the open, rocky places high in the mountains of Alaska. It according to this Wikipedia article, it harkens back to the Great War and the wounded returned soldiers who continued to require care long after the war was over. The wounded veterans' plight was not new, but the government was unprepared for the number of returning wounded required care. Very few services and organizations existed to provide the care and support the veterans required. A movement to remember and support them returning soldiers began earnest in 1921. And then Judge Robert S. Marks called on the nation to establish Forget-Me-Not Day to remind the country of their sacrifices.
That's a nice flower.
Yeah, it's like a flower. I like it.
Yeah.
What's next?
It's National Vanilla Cupcake Day.
Happy National Vanilla Cupcake Day.
Go eat one.
It's also Los Santos Uprising Day.
Happy Los Santos Uprising Day.
Yeah, it begins commemorates the beginning of Panama's struggle for independence from Spain in 1821. It was based on the event that sparked the anti-Spanish uprising in La Villa de los Santos. And it is also it's when Rufina Alfaro, who was a young woman who lived in a small village near Los Santos, on November 10th, 1821, led a group of Panamanians shouting "Viva la Libertad," which means "Live long liberty," and people armed with sticks and stones seized Spanish barracks without spilling a single drop of blood.
Nice.
Yeah, so happy day. Move on to Saturday the 11th. What is it?
It's Mother's Day in North Korea.
Happy Mother's Day, North Korea.
They do the same thing we do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom. It's also Angola Independence Day.
Happy Angola Independence Day.
Yeah, this holiday was established to commemorate their independence from Portugal in 1975.
Nice.
Yeah, what's next?
National Sunday Day.
Happy National Sunday Day.
Go eat one.
Ow.
Ow.
It's also Independence Day in Poland.
Happy Independence Day, Poland.
Yeah, they got their independence from a bunch of different countries because it was owned by a bunch of different countries during, the World Wars and stuff. But they got it in 1918.
Good job.
Yeah, what's next?
Republic Day in Maldives.
Happy Republic Day, Maldives.
On November 11th, 1968, the monarchy of the Maldives was replaced by a republic.
Nice. It's also Independence of Cartagena.
Happy Independence of Cartagena.
Yeah, it commemorates in 1811 when Cartagena became the first Colombian city to declare independence from the Spanish.
Nice.
Yeah, what's next?
It's St. Martin's Day.
Happy St. Martin's Day.
It's also known as the Feast of St. Martin's, Martinstag, or Martinmas, as well as Old Halloween and Old Hallowmas.
Ooh.
Yeah, Old Hallowmas Eve, sorry. Ooh. It's the feast day of St. Martin's of Tours and is celebrated on November 11th each year. This was the time when autumn wheat seeding was completed and the annual slaughter of fattened cattle produced Martinmas beef. And they had hiring fairs to make those cows into food, and yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, no.
And what's the last day today?
Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day.
There was a ton of history about Veterans Day, but I didn't want to say it all.
I assume it's just all about veterans.
Yeah.
Because there's every country pretty much celebrates Veterans Day around this time. I didn't include all that because I was just going to include it within Veterans Day itself, but there's Armistice Day and Army Days all the time.
Armistice Day is the same thing as Veterans Day in America.
Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't put it on the list because it's just the same thing, but a bunch of different countries pretty much celebrate veterans on this day.
Well, it's not the same. It's not two different holidays. It's the same holiday.
No, I know.
Okay.
That's what I was saying.
Because Armistice Day became Veterans Day.
I was just saying it's called that in other countries rather than Veterans Day.
Okay. Yeah, it's Veterans Day.
Yeah. Go support your veterans. Say thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We move on to Sunday the 12th. It is the beginning of National Nurse Practitioner Week.
Happy National Nurse Practitioners Week.
Yeah, it commemorates the recognition of nurse practitioners in their roles that help us out.
Nice.
Yeah, nurse practitioners are pretty much just like nurses that have more training in like doing certain things, so they can help you out more than like a typical nurse can.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, at least from my research, that's what I found. If I'm wrong, please correct us.
Correct you.
Yeah, but this lasts from the 12th to the 18th.
Nice.
Yeah, what's next?
Did you already say it's Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's Chicken Soup for the Soul Day.
Happy Chicken Soup for the Soul Day.
I don't know, eat some.
Okay. I know Chicken Soup for the Soul is like a book series.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't really find anything
So maybe it's celebrating the
about
book series.
Hollow Day.
I don't really know what the books are about. I think they're just like inspirational quotes or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, I'll move on while you look that up.
Okay.
It's Constitution Day in Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan. Happy Constitution Day.
They adopted their constitution in 1995.
Nice.
Yeah. What's next?
Chicken Soup for the Soul Day was created to celebrate who you are, where you have been, where you are going, who you will be, and who you will be thankful to when you get there.
Okay. Yeah, I think the books are just kind of like inspirational quotes or something.
Yeah.
True. It just said right there. The books are
It did, but it didn't.
true stories written by ordinary people about their own lives.
Oh, okay, it did. I just didn't read it.
So I guess they're just like inspirational stories.
Yeah.
To really lift your spirits up. But yeah, what's next on this day?
It is National Pizza with the Works Except Anchovies Day.
Happy National Pizza with the Works Except Anchovies Day.
Go eat one.
Ow.
Oh.
Except, I honestly, I like anchovies on pizza.
I've never had one.
I had it once. It's pretty good.
Let's get some. Try it out.
Yeah.
But
it's
except
good.
we can't get it on the 12th.
Well, fuck that holiday. Anchovies
Do
are
what
good.
I want.
I don't give a shit. Yeah, we'll move on. Oh no, we'll not move on. I have one more day. It's
the heck?
Father's Day in Finland, Iceland, and Sweden.
Happy Father's Day, guys.
Yeah, that's pretty much how we celebrate it here. So thanks,
Nice.
Papi. Oh, move on to Monday, the 13th. What is it?
National Indian Pudding Day.
Happy National Indian Pudding Day.
In 17th century, English colonists brought hasty pudding to North America and completely transformed it. Although it was initially made with wheat, they substituted cornmeal due to a shortage of the grain at the time. The colonists had learned how to cultivate corn, from the indigenous peoples. Indian pudding was derived from their name for cornmeal, Indian meal. Milk was substituted for water, and they added either molasses or maple syrup along with cinnamon, ground ginger, butter, eggs, raisins, and nuts. Indian pudding is then slowly baked for several hours, transforming its texture from an original porridge-like quality of hasty pudding to a much more smoother texture, which is like a typical custard.
Okay. So it should be called Native American pudding then.
Yeah. But go eat some.
Yeah, go eat that.
No.
It is also National Day in Myanmar.
Happy National Day, Myanmar.
Yes, the anniversary of the beginning of the unrest against British rule in 1920 that eventually led to their independence in 1948.
Nice.
Yeah, what's the final day this week?
The final day is World Kindness Day.
Happy World Kindness Day.
The World Kindness Movement started World Kindness Day in 1998 and has spread to 28 countries.
Nice, be kind.
Kind.
That's it.
Them's the days.
Yeah, if you want to go like us on all the social medias and follow the podcast on all the things, YouTube, podcast apps, anything. Just go do it.
Do it. Do it.
Yeah, go follow us. And if you want to introduce friends to the podcast, give them that little sample or that little stocking stuffer we put out.
Mm-hmm.
Let them listen to that. It's funny. We're funny.
Funny people.
I make a joke and we make jokes.
And sometimes they're funny.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it, right?
Think so.
Them's the day.
Them's the days.
Just a few minutes after dark, we got to talking, and that's when I made my